Hi there, welcome to our series of videos demonstrating our next generation sensor for wave and tide measurement, the WaveRadar REX². In this video, we'll be looking at some of the main features of our wave processing software, WaveView Connect. We've covered the installation and basic setup process in a previous video which is linked below, so we won't be covering that again today. Instead, we're going to jump straight into looking at the graphical user interface, or GUI, and looking at some of the features available in the software. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to be using the service version of WaveView Connect, but I'm not actually going to be connected to a WaveRadar REX². Instead, I'm going to generate wave statistics using the REX simulator tool that's built into the software and generates raw data at 2 Hz. This is available on all versions of the software and can be really useful for the purpose of testing. We're now going to switch to a screen capture of the software and demonstrate some of the features of the GUI. Once your software is configured, your setup page should look something like this, with the details of your basic setup at the top and information regarding your data input below. From this page, we can launch straight into the GUI. WaveView Connect has been designed with operational users in mind, so large, easy-to-read values are key. In the basic view, 4 parameters are visible. As standard, these are significant wave height, maximum wave height, mean zero crossing period, and tide. We can swap from the basic to advanced view using the yellow toggle in the bottom right of the window. This displays 10 parameters instead of 4, providing considerably more information on the current wave environment. As we move back to the basic view, we'll have a look at the charts. Behind each value there is a simplified chart shown in blue. This is a record of history of each parameter, allowing the user to quickly evaluate any trends present in the parameter. For example, here we can easily see that the tide levels are starting to rise. On the bottom bar in this window, there is a drop-down that lets us select the time frame for these charts. Currently this is set to 12 hours, but we can easily swap this to 1 or 3 hours to get a more detailed view of the conditions and the trend. For a more detailed view of each chart, clicking once on each parameter will open a new window which shows a detailed chart along with labelled axes. Below the main parameter displays, in both the basic and advanced view, there are a handful of status boxes related to the input data. These are colour-coded and provide you with a quick indication of the state of the system. One of these boxes is the REX status code. The simulator I'm using is based on the legacy WaveRadar REX sensor, so it displays a code of 8070. For your REX² installation, you'll see a status code of 8000 if everything is working as expected. If any of these boxes are not green, it warrants some investigation. We're now going to move on and look at how we can customize this display to best suit our needs. Pressing the cog icon in the bottom right of the window opens up the configuration menu. The night mode button is a simple reduction in the brightness of the display, making the interface suitable for use in low light conditions. This feature was originally implemented for use on a ship's bridge at night time. The range settings button opens a dialog box for us to configure some thresholds for visual alarms related to each parameter. These alarms can be set on a maximum and minimum basis. We have an amber warning threshold and a red alarm threshold. When parameters reach these thresholds, the display values and background chart will change colour to match the type of alarm. I'll demonstrate this now with significant wave height and maximum wave height. As you can see, they've both exceeded different thresholds, and this is shown on the main display. This is an excellent tool if there are hard operational limits that need to be evaluated quickly. Also in the range settings menu is the option to set minimum and maximum y-axis values for the background charts. If these are left blank, then the charts will auto-scale. The Choose Parameters button enables the 4 parameters displayed on the basic view to be configured to the user preference. While choosing the parameters, all other features are disabled until you click the Save button. In order to change the parameter displayed in the box, click on the name and then select a new field from the drop-down list. For example, here I've replaced the TZ parameter with TP. The list of selectable parameters includes all of the parameters that WaveView Connect can process. Due to the software's compatibility with DataWorld directional WaveRadar buoys, this also includes directional and surface current parameters. At the time of recording, we are not able to compute either of these parameters using a WaveRadar REX² installation. The last button on the configuration menu is a link back to the sensor setup interface, which opens in the new tab. That concludes the main features of the user interface and how to configure it. Before we wrap up this video, we're going to demonstrate the WebView and Internet WebView features of WaveView Connect. The WaveView feature allows other users on the same network to view the wave data from their PC via a browser. We covered how to enable this in the setup wizard in a previous video. If we look in the system status window of WaveView Connect, you can see that I have the WebView server enabled and running. Next to this, it gives me a URL for accessing the WebView remotely. I'm going to demonstrate the remote viewing using my laptop here. As you can see, WaveView Connect is running and processing the simulated wave data. If I copy the WebView URL from the system status page into a new browser, the same data is displayed. If another user on the same network were to follow the link using a different computer, they would also be able to see the same data. There is also some security built into the WebView feature. I'm currently viewing this data remotely, and if I try to click the cog in the bottom right, I'm unable to open any settings. The Internet WebView works in much the same way, but can be used when computers are not on the same network. As mentioned in a previous video, this feature does require a free account with ngrok and an authorization token to be provided during the configuration setup. When this is provided, next to the Internet WebView tunnel, there is a URL which can be shared for access from outside the network. The same read-only security settings are applicable here. Please be aware that the Internet WebView link is not static, and if the service is restarted for any reason, such as the processing computer being shut down, this link will change. That concludes our in-depth look at the features and customizable options for WaveView Connect. There are yet more advanced options such as the motion compensation and multiple simultaneous processing modules, which we'll cover in a later video. For more information on WaveView Connect and the WaveRadar REX², please follow the links below. Thank you very much for watching.